Alright folks, welcome back to Kilwa. We have an interesting situation here because Sunda, one of the few nations still independent in the Malaccas, is under attack by both the Spanish and the Portuguese. This is a problem because we did a good job of taking a lot of stuff from the Spanish and Portuguese because we're trying to get the achievement that requires us to have all of these provinces of our religion. And obviously if the Spanish and Portuguese take these, and some of which are the last few provinces with Hindu religion that are being converted, then we will probably struggle to be able to do the final conversion. And so I think we need to attack them ourselves in order to try to take as many things as possible. Oh, this is interesting. Interesting. I didn't even know this monument was here. So I think we need to attack them in order to either vassalize them or take as much land as possible. Because I don't think they will take an alliance because they hate our guts. So I think if we take this, do we have, it's interesting, we don't, some of your navies are out of port. Interesting that shouldn't we have Deus Volt? Heathens and heretics. Does it not view them as neighboring? It's interesting. It feels like we should be able to Deus Volt here. But anyways, apparently we cannot. So let's go for Bali, if we can. Apparently we cannot. Do we not have claims on all of it? No, Bali is apparently the one island we do not have a claim on. Okay, then we will go for Blamgadan, because it's the closest. And we will wait 22 days until our diplomat returns, and then we will attempt to involve ourselves. Alright, and there we go. Let's see if we needed a... Ooh, we have a merchant. Free. I was doing a little shuffling between sessions of merchants, because over here I realized a lot of trade is going north to our enemies. And so I put someone here to pull that trade value down here, where we ultimately would like our center of trade to be. Looks like we are throwing this trade to the Caribbean to try to keep it away from Spain and Portugal. I think we have a free merchant. Where do we want that merchant? These all flow in one direction. These all flow in one direction. We probably want this to come over here. But then where is most of this money going? It's going out in two different directions, but that would be better for us than it going up to the Caribbean. So let us transfer trade power. Send him over there. All right. Then let's come back over here for the war. All right. Sunda. And we are going to go for Blamgadam. And we will march in. Let's pop our boats out to give us the protection we need. And this army is also marching in. This has the really good siege leader, so let's get him forward. Where's their port? It looks like it's... Nope, looks like we're in the right spot, I guess. Let us use our free naval barrage, one of the best things about this. There's the enemy. They're not nearly strong enough to stop me. What is this? Enemy invasion imminent. The Sunda fleet is actually legitimate. I'm kind of surprised. But we're not really interested in fighting the Sunda fleet because we do not want to make it easier for the Spanish and Portuguese. So we're just going to slowly walk our way forward. Ideally, I honestly don't want to fight their army at all. I want to leave them as, because I assume I can't full annex them. If I can annex them, then I will. But assuming that's not possible, where do we need to send our next merchant? Let's take a quick look. Yep, so now we're yanking all that money the other way. Then I guess we would also like... Let's see where else we want to control the flow to some degree. We're pulling this money south. This is allowing a lot more money to wander north, but most of it when it comes up here is coming down to us. This one's still pulling down. That one's pulling. It's a lot of money in that node, my goodness. This node has only one direction. This one, I guess, is the other one where we would like to transfer trade power. There we go. All right, let's come back over here. Ooh, revolt. That's 10k. I think they can probably handle that. I did do some construction in my vassals to try to help them, because I want them to be strong, because if we're going to go to war eventually with Spain again... Oh my! Wow, we actually are going to attack me here. Alright, they might actually be able to do pretty well, because this is not a favorable terrain for us. I was not expecting an actual fight to occur here. Heretics in Cusco. Wow, okay. They've got all the rebels. Well, hopefully my vassals will come over there and help them. I think we're... Ooh, it's gonna be a tight one here, depending on the rolls. I think we barely won that. Whew. Potosi is my gold mine. I do not want that to collapse. We're probably gonna have to send some troops over there to help them. Sunda, you shouldn't have fought with me. I'm not really trying to really invade you. I'm mainly trying to keep them out. There we go. I think literally every single... Why is my war exhaustion high? Literally every single one of these rebels has spawned. Alright, a lot of these armies are taking hideous amounts of attrition over here. That's why. That's why we're taking so much war exhaustion, not because of the actual war, but because we've got way too many armies stacked on top of one another. There, that should fix that problem. Also, we have no manpower. Holy cow, that is not good at all. Guess you shouldn't stand all your troops on top of each other. Tiwanaku, that's also Cus in Peru. Portugal no longer a valid rival. Guess we're too strong. Siege this. We've lost a general. It's probably one of the ones... Oh, that's not good. They're going to try to stop me from doing that. Which sea zone is this? This crossing, I guess, is in this sea zone. If we take the other side, they won't be able to cross. There we go. Man, they have recruited up. Alright, we will take our autonomy change. This is a little tricky, because it's like, I can probably beat them, but I don't really want to, and we have no manpower at all. My goodness, we have lost a ton of sailors. We're gonna have to go, hold up, we're gonna have to go build some buildings here to help us out with this. We need... Sailors modifier. Throw out the... Just throw out some buildings here. Some of those are not very effective, but will give us a little something. Let's see if there's something I can build that will give me better returns from this. Certainly in all these colonial regions, it's an easy thing to build. Ooh. Probably shouldn't build in something that I know I need to convert. And there we go. We built, like, literally every single one of those we can. I think we're taking attrition as well on these ships because we are not... We don't have sailors to reinforce them. There we go, we defeated that. Let's go for the next province. I think we can win a siege race. There we go, we are here. Let us barrage. Send in the extra cannons to speed this up. Of course, another leader has left us. Who is in charge now? It was, of course, the siege leader that was in charge of that siege. It always is. These armies still taking attrition? Let them sort it out themselves. Why are they still taking attrition in these provinces? Which ones are the ones with... This one is not taking attrition, I don't think. This army, what are you doing over here? Alright, let's find somewhere where you can stand. Oh, you're on rebel suppression, but I think you're okay now that you have a general on you. You can stand there. I think there's a port that's been developed. Benin and Calabar. You go over there. It's like there's nowhere here that's... Let's see if we bump development here just a little bit. Can you stand here now without attrition? Like we're taking hideous attrition from standing here, but the supply is just awful in all these provinces. Like none of these have high enough. Looks like Katsina can hold them? Alright, you go to Katsina. Alright, supply limit. The development does contribute. I was pretty sure it did. That's raised it a little bit more. We'll keep developing here because we want a level 3 center of trade anyways. This is the army that's already in position. Alright, let's take this fortress, please. Quality ivory. Cool. I prefer not to have to go re-siege that. There we go, we have taken that fortress. So let's see what we can get with what we have here. I cannot vassalize them, they are too large. So we don't need interior provinces. So I could try to do something where I leave, like, pieces inside. But that doesn't really give us what we need. See the religions map mode. The ones we need to protect are these ones. Not the ones down here, but it will be very awkward to not be connected with the other territories. I think we're just going to have to take kind of a swath up to here. But I hate to take one of their provinces with a fortress. They won't yet agree to this anyways. See if we can engage. They're gonna run away. They broke their siege. Don't really want that fight, honestly, because it is too much work. They really are not willing to give me anything, almost, with what we've got. And this is just going to be an ugly battle. Even if I put the very best general. Who's our very best? Maybe you? It's got 8. We gotta go find our army that now is generalless. Bali considers this to be one of her cores. We could take Bali and release it. Majapahit is also here. Bali is not super helpful to us. I think, given the situation, I think we're going to have to peace out for a much less than desired, because we just have no sailors or manpower. I don't want to leave them this, because then they can land on it. I think we're going to have to take a fight. And this one needs another great general to come in. I think we're gonna still lose this fight. Yeah, I figured that was not going to end well, but they are on low enthusiasm again. They're not far off, so it's possible we'll be able to regroup and walk back up the island chain to get them. Let's bring this into here. I think we've built This just gives tax modifier. 10,000 ducats. I think we'll take trade efficiency, actually. Enemy invasion imminent. I don't really want to destroy their fleet. I want them to remain powerful with their fleet so that they can hopefully drive off the... Just merge these two armies. Because they're so weak that they can't really effectively fight in any other combination. Okay, we're taking so much, we're getting a ton of war exhaustion, not because of actual combat, but because of things like this. Why are you still taking attrition here? Let's put someone with you to give us a little more. And then this person here, this still needs to be developed. Just split this army in half for a minute so that it'll stop taking attrition. Kid just cannot afford to sit there taking that level of attrition. Alright, now we've got particularists down here, which are super annoying. Actually, what we will do is instead of doing that, we will just march this whole army over here, and we will ship it down to deal with those particularists. Alright, let's see if we can do a little bit of sieging while they're doing that, and that will give us what we need. Attach. Let's bring these down here. We'll deal with them. They breached the walls, but I think we can do enough sieging, hopefully, here before they take it to get us some war score back. Now, if they take that fortress, we're in trouble. Let's see what we can get now. Not quite. Do I want to gamble on that? Because even releasing this really doesn't get us anything. Like, we could get this. This is what we can effectively take. These 3 islands right here, they must have a lot of development on these islands. And I'm not going to take any money. I don't want them to take this and it cause a problem, so I'm not going to take any money. There we go. We're going to march back into this zone. This place has a level 6 fortress already. Let's bring this into port. Kilwan La Plata has high liberty desire. Let us, I think there's a, is there a modify subject relationship? I think I gave them a bunch of bonuses. Can I decrease them even though they're not? See if I change them, they're a self-governing colony, but I believe Crown Colony will help. There we go, we have transformed them into a Crown Colony, which has now gotten rid of my problem with their disloyalty. And then we need to further modify the relationship with them by allowing send officers, which will strengthen them. And then we will also enable support loyalists. There we go. That should keep them permanently loyal, so we don't have to deal with that anymore. Alright, that was less than successful, we must admit. That was less than successful, gotta admit. But we have successfully taken another bite and moved a little closer. So these are provinces they won't be able to convert, and now we are still steadily with our center of trade converting these last few that I think we need. So, oh, there's one that's become Catholic over here. It's owned by Portugal, so we will have to have another war with them. Or no, this one's owned by me. But this one's Catholic, so same problem. We're going to have to still have another war with Spain and Portugal in order to end this. But little by little, we will get there. So with that, we're going to pause here, and I will see you next time.